Okay, well, let's go to Sina Toossi. He's a senior fellow at Center for International Policy. His work focuses on producing research and analysis on the US-Iranian relations. And he joins us live now from Washington, D.C. Thank you very much for your time. Now, as we just heard there from both the Iranian president and also now from the Israeli prime minister, both claiming victory. But the question is, are there any winners coming out of all of this?
So I think to determine victory in this strategic sense, we have to see what, in this case, Israeli objectives were when they initiated this war and launched a surprise attack on Iran. Netanyahu said at the beginning that the war will not stop until they've destroyed Iran's nuclear and missile capabilities. And that objectively has not happened. The New York Times just released an article within the past hour citing the U.S. intelligence community and its estimate of the damage done to Iran's main nuclear facilities on Saturday when the U.S. struck them. And the damage is minimal, that the equipment has not been damaged, the main halls underground have not been damaged. Iran still has its advanced centrifuges, its massive stockpiles of enriched uranium. So the nuclear program is intact. And regarding the other aims of Israel, the missile program, Iran really demonstrated its ability throughout this 12-day war to be able to strike Israel, to penetrate its multi-layered, sophisticated air defense system, and strike key targets, including refineries in Israel, including the Weizmann Institute, the military research center in Tel Aviv, and various other military and intelligence targets in Israel. So this war was costly for all sides. Definitely, Iran bore a huge cost. Israel assassinated top military commanders, attacked various targets throughout the country. But at the end of the day, it did not meet any of its strategic objectives in this war.
Mr. Sina Toossi, you just mentioned there that a New York Times article that's come out, it's actually quite a few different US media outlets that have said that this leaked early assessment of the US strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, this is by the US intelligence, showing that it's been set back only by months. This, of course, also as Trump denied it on Air Force One as he was arriving at NATO. And then we're also seeing that Israeli media outlet is saying Israeli intelligence assesses that the US and Israeli strikes set back Iran's nuclear program by several years. Who do we believe here?
Yeah, I think the Israeli narrative is wishful thinking. There is ultimately no military solution to Iran's nuclear program. It is a deeply entrenched, dispersed program. It enlarged in scope, comprised of thousands of scientists. The knowledge is there. The technology is there. The only thing that is lacked is a decision to weaponize. And, the consensus amongst arms control experts, non-proliferation experts in Washington has long been that only a diplomatic solution where Iran voluntarily gives up some of its nuclear capabilities is the only way to durably end the proliferation risk of Iran's nuclear program. And when it comes to the Israeli narrative versus the U.S. intelligence community narrative, I'm much more inclined to believe what the U.S. intelligence agencies are saying, given Israel has a vested and political interest in promoting a narrative of victory and for Netanyahu to have a political win at home. But this war, I think, was initiated by Netanyahu to derail U.S.-Iran negotiations. U.S. President Donald Trump initially rolled with it, but then as he saw it was quickly becoming a quagmire, it was not going to deliver regime change, it was not going to deliver these results, that Trump kind of washed his hands of it, pulled back,
right.
And now Netanyahu is in a strategically weaker position as a result.
And Mr. Toossi, you were just mentioning there about diplomatic solution. Just coming out actually from The Hague, from that NATO meeting, we've got Britain, France and Germany, that's the E3 countries, saying that Iran must come to the negotiating table. But at the heart of any diplomacy, at the heart of negotiations is trust. So from Iran's point of view, there's going to be absolutely no trust going into any kind of talks. How is that likely going to influence the ceasefire?
Yes, I mean, it's a very interesting statement coming from the E3, given Iran was already at the negotiating table. No one disputes that. Trump sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader back in March, initiating negotiations with Steve Witkoff, his special envoy to the region, leading the talks. They had 5 rounds of talks in Oman and in Rome. According to many reports, they were potentially on the cusp of a framework initial nuclear deal last Sunday, which the Israeli attack preluded and sabotaged. And your point about trust is spot on, that Iran was just the victim of a surprise attack while it was negotiating. So for it to commit to new negotiations or a new deal, I think it's going to want much more in return. I think reasonably so, in terms of guarantees, in terms of confidence building measures, in terms of tangible actions that negate the possibility of another attack on Iran.
Okay, thank you very much for your thoughts on all of this, Mr. Sina Toossi in Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.